Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
Yes, I would have a question, Philippa.
Yeah.
We are now setting up a new translation team in Holland. And yeah, so we have some issues with the sound. The sound quality is not as good always. And it seems it is because of the, you know, the headset. Maybe the quality of the headset is not good, or maybe you have any tips for better quality. Yeah, you said about the mic, the microphone, but maybe you have also a tip for a headset.
Are you talking about the quality of the translation, or the quality of the translation? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what microphone are you using for that?
Well, actually, it's not specifically mine, but we are working with several translators, and some of them, they were hardly being heard. You know, the sound was too soft. Even though we tried it out before on Zoom, we did a tryout. But when they were in the translation room and translating, it was hardly heard.
I'll tell you something, this is a really common problem. You know, we need to educate the BK family on quality of sound. I'm on the editorial team for this new Lighthouse YouTube channel and website, and we're going through material that we would like to put on, and we have to discount so much of it because the quality of the sound recording is just not good enough. So this is a really common issue. You know, the way to improve the quality of sound is to improve the quality of your microphone, to look at the space that you're recording in and make sure that it hasn't got a problem with the acoustics. Headphones, it isn't really an issue. People wear headphones when you see them in a recording studio so that they can hear their own voice coming through their ears. So, you know, that's helpful for people because they can hear themselves really well. So you could try using headphones. My headphones, I'm not using them at the moment, they're just here.
Yeah, actually, I was also, another sister recommended, she had a tip. She said the headsets that gamers are using are usually very good. Because they need to be heard, you know, second by second. It has to be very secure. So that was the thought, maybe a headset, a gamer headset.
Absolutely, they're excellent. The only thing I would say with that is don't buy the headphones that have the microphone included, because usually it's not a very good quality microphone. It sounds like you're the captain of an aircraft and it sounds quite distorted. But, you know, investing in a good pair of headphones, you know, it's a good investment.
Just one more thing. One more thing. I'm not sure if I understood you right. You said don't buy one with the microphone included, but what do you mean included? Usually they have this little microphone that goes in front. Is that what you mean?
That's the microphone I'm talking about. So you have your headphones and then there's a microphone that comes here like this.
Which is not good, you said.
No.
Oh, okay. Right.
I would say get a good pair of headphones and then get a good microphone as well. But on the whole, these gaming microphones, you know, they're not designed for voice recording or having a nice quality microphone sound. They're just slightly mechanical and tinny. I've had a pair like that, and I know people that have had them. And if I'm doing an interview with someone and they're using that, I will always say, have you got another microphone? Because it just doesn't make a good sound. So don't be tempted by those. Yeah. It's
I
worth
have another question, Philippa.
Yeah.
What about how am I looking in the camera?
Yes.
Where am I? What do you see?
So that's a really good point. So I'll tell you what I do. So I have a series of little blessing cards, and one of them is courage. And the picture is a lion. It's a lion's head. You can see the eyes. And what I do is I stick that picture of a lion just underneath. So say it's this. I just stick it underneath the camera so that I can see the face of the lion. And so I talk to the lion. And that way you are looking at the right place just beneath your camera. But obviously on a call like this, where I'm talking to different ones, I'm having to sort of look at the screen in different places. So I can't do that in this setup. But if I was to begin the talk, I would put the little picture of the lion, or you could put a picture of Baba, it doesn't matter. Just glue it or just stick it with tack underneath the camera. And then every time you look up, you're talking to the lion, or you're talking to Baba, or whoever's face you have there. And that will just remind you to look up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pauline.
So you not look straight in the camera then? Is that what you're saying? You just have to look up. And
so if I demonstrate for you, so I'm sitting here and it should feel like I'm talking to you right now, because I'm looking just below the camera, and this is how I'm going to be talking to you. Otherwise, I'm looking at the photos and my eyes are down here, which I can't avoid in this situation because I'm looking at all of you. And the other thing you can do, if you're talking to a few people, you can move the picture of the people around on your Zoom screen. So the actual Zoom box, if you click on the top, you can, with your cursor, move it from one side to the other side or up and down. So make sure you've moved it to the top of your screen. And, you know, if you're doing a talk with just a couple of people, you'd be using speaker view, and you can move the photos around so that the person that you're talking to is right in the middle.
How do you move the photos around, Philippa?
You just grab with your mouse, just click on left hand, click on the picture, and then just drag it to where you want it to be.
Okay.
We can't do it in this view that I'm in at the moment.
No, it can't in Spotlight.
You have to be in speaker view. And so the other thing I will do is, if I'm talking to two other people and I'm asking someone a question, I will move their photo on the screen so that they are now in the middle of my screen. Because what you want to avoid is that you're doing this all the time and you're talking like this, because you're looking at them because that's where they are on your screen, but all the person can see of you is the side of your face. But if you click and grab your Zoom box and move them to the middle of the screen, then you're now looking straight ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philippa?
Yes. Yes.
Philippa. I'm born badly here. I have okay. Now is the 50%, and when I use my experience with headset and microphone is very good. Because I am badly hard of hearing, hard of hear, yeah, hard and hearing, yeah. This is not and I'm used to head. Okay, look.
Yeah, you have that.
And this, yeah?
Yeah.
It is very expensive.
Yes.
It is for the study and benefit.
I think you've got a sufficiently good quality set.
Yeah, yeah.
That the microphone is actually fine.
And
so,
this is for telephone.
Very good.
And we have here, you have a microphone.
Yeah.
and you can do. It is very good for badly ears, because when my husband or brother take the television, and then is so many loud, and then I take this, I put my ears out, and then I go and enjoy it, the meditation.
Yeah, no, I think you've got some really good quality headphones there with a really reasonable microphone. I suppose what I'm talking about is the more kind of commercially available ones that you can buy, and they tend to just put a really cheap microphone with it. Okay. So yeah, you're doing great with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there more questions to Philippa? Now is your chance.
The light, Philippa. I tried a light in front of me, but I don't see any difference right now. Where do I have to put the light so that my face is not that dark?
What kind of light are you using, Carmen?
It's like a little one straight for a desk.
Like a desk light. And is it shining down or is it shining up?
It's actually shining straight into my face, and it got me a little bit blinded even in my eyes.
Yeah.
But there's a difference in the light that I see that my face is more light.
Is not quite enough.
No, not at all.
No, I can see that. I mean, the last thing you want is to be blinded by the light.
Yes, that's true.
Because that will just give you a headache after a while. So the ideal is that the light is set to one side, that it's coming from above.
Okay.
And shining down on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's actually on my right side. I can put up a light, and that is doing the trick, you think?
Yeah. I think, you know, obviously maybe the bulb isn't that strong, possibly. Is it reasonably strong? Yeah.
It is very strong actually, but it's only like this strong in one direction.
Yeah. You need to experiment with some different light sources.
Yes.
Because on my screen, you and I are together, and my face is looking a lot lighter, well lit than yours. But it's just because of the lighting setup that I've got here.
I'm gonna experiment with it.
Experiment with it.
Yes, thank you.
So this light stand is, you know, it's right up above me, shining down. It's lighting what's behind me. It's lighting my face. You can also...
Philippa, could you show it to us, the light you have?
Yeah. So here it is. I can bring it down. So that's the back of it. And you can control whether it's white light or yellow light so that it's not too bright. And you can turn the brightness up and down. So without this light, if I shine the light away, that's the side that's nearest the window. This side is now looking a little bit darker. And there it is shining on the back. And it goes up and down. And it sits on a tripod. Yeah. So if you're in a center or there's a group of you, maybe you can invest between a few centers on a couple of nice lights. So if you're doing an event, you can borrow the lighting and get the lighting right. But you want it to one side above you and shining down at an angle of 45 degrees. Does that? And the other light I've got is one of these. like that. So you can use that to position. It has a little stand, so you can stand it on your desk.
What is the name of it? How do you call that? Like,
to be honest, I just bought it from Amazon. I think it's designed so that you can put your camera in here, and it's for people who are doing like makeup demonstrations and things. But you know, it's quite nice. You can extend the feet like this and have it sitting on a little box or a block of wood, and you can use that as well as a light source. So to be honest, this was all trial and error. When we first started recording the masterclass series, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I was working with Prashant in Awakening TV, and I kept on sending him screenshots, and he got me moving my desk around. He got me completely rearranging the room. He said I needed to buy another light, I needed a microphone, and you know, he talked me through all the things that I needed. And eventually we arrived at something, and he said, okay, that's good, now you can use that. So, you know, it's going to take a while, and you're going to have to really be determined to crack it. You might have to invest a little bit. If you feel that this is a direction that you want to travel in with your service, then it's a good investment of your time, because once you've got your setup, then it's there and you can just sit down at any time and off you go. But it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference, and it also makes us look much more professional. If we've got a nice setup, it's well lit, we've got a nice camera, it gives us authority, it makes us look as if we really mean business and we know what we're talking about. And also, I don't know about this, but I'd say, you know, maybe even just use a little bit of makeup. If you want to just use something to take a shine off your face, or just sort of make sure that you look presentable, then just a little bit. I don't think, you know, it's part of what you're doing. As Brahmins, we sometimes have big bags under our eyes, so maybe just a little bit of something just to take the darkness from under your eye. A few tips, might as well use them.
If I give a training, Philippa,
Yeah.
For my work, for my job, I do use makeup when I give a training on Zoom, because I can look rather pale.
Absolutely.
And I really saw it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
I do use for those occasions, yes.
And if any of you have given interviews at Godlywood, you'll know that they send you to makeup department before you go onto the set and do a recording. I find it hilarious that I did a series of interviews when I was there, and they spent so long on what I was going to wear and the makeup and how my hair was, and they wanted it this way and that way. They weren't at all interested in actually what we were going to talk about. It was all on how you looked. But, you know, I think just to have a little bit of awareness of, you know, if you've got a very shiny face, put some powder on and just take the shine off. You know, just, it's part of presenting, it's part of performing. So see it in that way.
Hey, Philippa, what do you do with glasses? Because sometimes they are shining and you can't see the eyes.
Yes. So again, I'm looking at Petra and I can see a reflection of light in Petra's glasses. Is it a window? I think it's possibly a window in front of her. But Annika, I don't see any reflection in your glasses. So you just have to get people to work with you and get them to move the lighting in such a way as it's not catching your glasses. There is a funny thing that happens sometimes when people are using this light, is that you see a round circle of light reflected on their glasses, and they look like they've landed from another planet or something. So you want to avoid those kind of reflections on your glasses, but it is possible with the correct positioning of your lighting to avoid that reflection.
But also non-mirroring glass, eh?
That's another tip. That's another tip.
You did buy them, huh, Rose?
Yeah, I recently bought them.
All the Zoom, yeah.
Okay, so
another question, Philippa.
Yes. Yeah.
And when we were preparing, you were talking, and it really inspired me a lot. You were talking about like you are doing that you are only with in the room with the ones you are talking with. So it's very intimate, like you're coming for a cup of tea and you're really close to them. And it really inspired me to be very personal with everyone. I'm alone in their room and it's very personal, really inspired me.
So thank you for that. We're going to be talking more about this after the break, because it is important. And I think if you have an image in your mind that will really ensure a good result, it would be to imagine that you're sat around the kitchen table with some good friends and you're drinking a cup of tea and you're just discussing things. And that's something that we've all done. You're with friends, you're drinking tea, and you're talking. And that will create the intimacy that you're looking for. I think what you want to avoid is, I'm sitting here, I'm giving a talk, you're listening, I'm speaking, I know the answers, you're only learning. You know, it sets up a sort of awkward dynamic. Whereas if you can just, in your mind, you're talking to friends, you're having a sip of tea, that will create the right intimacy. And what we're going to be talking about is the importance of holding the space. Because if you're giving a talk, it's up to you to hold the space. So you have to have the right balance between having the authority that you need to hold the space, but also having humility that you don't necessarily know all the answers. You're exploring the same as everyone. So there are a few little balances that we're going to be looking at after the break. But that's an important one. It's finding the balance between holding the space, because people watching, if they feel that you're not in control, if they feel that you're not in charge, then they don't feel safe. They feel that things are maybe floundering a little bit. And if people don't feel safe, then they're not going to learn. So in order for them to have an experience, in order for them to learn, you have to energetically hold the space. You have to have the authority to make it seem like you know what you're doing. Everything is safe. Everything is under control. Everything is calm. And then people go, ah, they can relax. They can feel that they're amongst friends, and then they can then drop into the experience and they can catch hold of what it is that you're trying to say.